Hi, I'm Simon. This is my wife Kim. We're from Sailing Britican.
Quite a few of our Sailing Britican blog readers and YouTube watchers are trying to figure out what roles they're going to need to play when they become blue water cruisers like us, and whether or not they're up for the challenge.
Today we're going to talk about the hats each of us wear.
Yes, it's so hot that we are actually naked from here down.
Yeah. Do we stand up? I'm Britican, I'm the captain.
And I'm the first mate.
When it comes to travelling with Britican, I take more of the lead role. So I manoeuvre the boat in and out of marinas and docks. I'm on the helm when leaving anchorages and mooring balls. Usually get the head sail out and actively trim the sails while doing voyages. When we go through squalls, I'm the one that is on the main sheet to spill the wind and get the headsail in. And when we get to a new country, I'm the one that always goes in and speaks to the customs and immigration.
So on the other hand, I take more of a passive role when it comes to the sailing bit of Sailing Britican. I do quite a bit of work to leave or arrive, such as manage the dock lines and fenders, setting or pulling up the anchor, or attaching or detaching us from a mooring ball. I also raise and drop the mainsail, and every once in a while I have to put a reef in the sail or shorten the sail. Aside from those start and finishing tasks, I don't do too much work. For the most part, you'll find me getting comfortable in my cockpit seat. From the comfort of my seat, I do, however, keep a constant eye ahead of the boat, and I'm a stickler for noticing things on the plotter. Exclusion.
What does read up?
Right here, it says red alert exclusion.
When it comes to preparing for a passage, I do the passage planning from point A to point B, and sometimes even point C, in addition of getting the weather report from the forecast for that day or the next couple of days. And before we set off, I also do regular pre-passage engine checks.
So while Simon's checking the weather and setting our waypoints up on the plotter, I'm getting the boat tidy and preparing any snacks or meals we'll enjoy during the passage. I also force everyone on board to have a full glass or sippy bottle of water, and to ensure that their sunscreen is on.
From this perspective of keeping the boat in top shape, I'll do all the engine servicing, generator servicing, keep routine checks on our batteries, also topping up them with water regularly. I check and clean the sea strainers, and every couple of weeks I was also clean the barnacles off the copper coat.
The routine things that I stay on top of include keeping up with the laundry, cleaning every room from top to bottom on a rotational basis, and also polishing the metalwork up on deck. For us, food is massively important. I often cook with our solar cooker and like to make rice and some sort of one-pot meal. I love cooking with whatever vegetables I can find, and often I make pies that are filled with all sorts. So while Simon is keeping the boat well-tuned and healthy, I'm keeping us and our guests happily fed.
Speaking of the food department, I'm the chief barbecuer.
Yes, Simon is the barbecuer, fish catcher, fish filleter. Is it filleter or filleter?
I'm English, so it doesn't matter to me.
And Simon also cooks our fish, so he's the whole fish department.
Yeah, you won't touch him, will you?
Well, no. And when it comes to provisioning, I make the meal plans and grocery lists, whereas Simon goes to the store and gets everything. And then once we have food on board, I'm the one who puts it all away. Aside from that, my role on Britican is to manage the Sailing Britican business side of things. So I create the products that we sell, like our t-shirts, our sailing, sailboat guides, and books. And I also market the services we offer, like our membership or consultancy club, and our week-long Sailing Britican experiences. From the marketing perspective, I write articles, create videos like the one you're watching now, and post valuable information on a variety of our social media channels.
And when it comes to the club, I do most of the phone-based hand-holding. Kim does all the emails. During our week-long Britican experience, we both teach depending upon the roles that you see based in this video. When it comes to our projects, there's always a boat repair to make, something to be fixed, or annually something to be serviced. For example, servicing the winches, changing out the water filters, filling lines on our teak deck, fixing a water pump, filling our stern gland with grease, swapping our teak deck drain pipes, putting a new freezing plate in, working on a water maker high pressure pump, and cleaning out a lazarette.
So my projects are a bit more on the pink side, but they are projects nonetheless. I work on things like sewing threads that have come out of our bimini, making screens for our saloon windows, making curtains for the port light windows, finding ways to cram more stuff into spaces that aren't large enough to begin with, cutting down on packaging, especially toy packaging, so that Sienna can have a variety of things to play with. And sometimes Sienna and I make natural mosquito spray to keep the bugs away. I'm also the nurse on call, so when someone gets sick, which almost never happens, I am Nurse Kim.
So when it comes to Sienna's homeschooling, I coach her on maths and history, and Kim does reading, spelling, writing and science.
Like almost like a lava lamp, isn't it? And speaking of Sienna, she has various roles on Britican too. She supports the captain and first mate by doing the dishes, handling our VHF radio communications, being our go-getter, helping with cooking, the provider of small hands and arms to get fallen screws, and Sienna is also our master dinghy locker, fender deflator, and free hug giver.
To be a successful blue water cruising team, you need to have fair division of labour. That division doesn't necessarily have to be logical, it just needs to be what works.
So when we first got on Britican, I wanted to be the one that was in charge of the engines. Because I really like engines. Growing up where I did and the jobs I had, I always kind of felt like I had to prove that I wasn't a girly girl. Like I had to prove that I could do like blue jobs. Back on land, I did all the electrics in our house, I did all the plumbing. And
not all the plumbing.
Not all, but like I just did...
The clean plumbing bits you did?
Yeah.
Anything dirty, grey, black water?
Well, no.
I did.
No, that's a definite blue job. I've had to embrace my like femininity a little bit more, or more of the traditional women's jobs, because I didn't cook before either. And Simon was a stay-at-home dad. Sienna's first 3 years of life, Simon was the one who was there predominantly. Moving onto the boat was a bit difficult at first, and I didn't want to be pigeonholed into certain roles, but over time I actually realized that I like them. I like to cook. I really love to clean actually. Been doing it for 5-6 years now, so I feel like now I'm real comfortable with the roles we do. What about you? Yeah,
we're comfortable with them because we've been doing them so long, and it's like a second nature now for us. We're coming up to a mooring board and it's a bit windy. Kim's body language, I can see where it is, and when she's just about ready to pick the ball up, and then I'm just checking, and we found that it really works. Now that doesn't mean that the guys have to be on the helm. I think girls should be on the helm probably more than men, because generally they have a better touch than men when it comes to boat handling. They're not so aggressive, where men can be a bit more aggressive. Well, also the mooring balls are heavy, and sometimes I can't, lift them up. But luckily I'm long and tall, and I can, do acrobatics off the bow and reach down and get it. I don't think there's any right or wrong, and yes, there's blue and pink jobs. If you're gonna make it work, you have to find out what you like to do and share it. And if you both don't like doing something, you compromise, like everything else. Figure out the way that you do it. Don't look at anybody else. Try different things and try different jobs. You'll soon sort it out.
My favorite role is being a kid. Is probably that there's a lot of kids around here, and they're boat kids, and they're fun, and you get to swim in the water and jump off. I wash dishes. I help you clean the boat. Like washing with the hose, and
you like that, don't you?
It was fun because I put my bathing suit on and he sprays me.
What about when we come into a dock and leave a dock? What do you do?
I take off usually the back line.
Yep.
If we're side
two.
Side two.
Thank you.
That was quick. We
have to give a big thanks to Mark Snowden, who joined us on a Britican experience, and he brought us our outfits. So now we know who's who. We just need to get Sienna an outfit. She's the Admiral. So I don't know what this...
Yeah, this means I'm the captain.
Okay, and this means I'm the first mate.
This means you take orders from me.
Yeah, right. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, it is.
What's your favorite role?
I like it when you're bent over.
Oh, Simon.
No.
What?
Nothing. Daddy's...
What did he say? What do you say?
There's nothing for your ears.
No, Sandy was talking. He likes it when I clean under the oven.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
If you'd like to learn more about sailing, anchoring, mooring balls, engine checks, and more, consider joining Simon, Sienna, and me on Britican for a week-long live-aboard cruiser experience. Get the full details at sailingbritican.com/live-aboard-experience.